and welcome everyone to SNHU's Career Day 2024, our free virtual conference open to students, alumni, faculty, and staff from anywhere around the globe. We are thrilled to have such a diverse audience with us today. I'm Jill Giambruno Peterson, your host for this session. I want to ensure that your experience is as smooth and enriching as possible, so let's start with some important announcements. Before we dive into the exciting content lined up for today, take a moment to familiarize yourself with the virtual platform Teams. You'll find features like live captioning, various written language options for the slides, the ability to move through the slides at your own pace should you wish, and the chat box, which you can open by selecting the chat icon at the top of your screen. In the chat box, we've included instructions for using Teams features mentioned. This session will feature a 30-minute presentation followed by a 15-minute question and answer portion at the end. You may notice cameras and microphones have been disabled so everyone can focus on the presenters, but we encourage you to actively participate throughout the session. Use the chat to submit your questions for the Q&A and don't miss the opportunity to network with fellow attendees. Your engagement is what makes Career Day dynamic, and the value of the connections you can make cannot be overstated. One great way to do this is by sharing your first name, career area of interest, the area you live in, and your LinkedIn profile to connect with others. These sessions will also be recorded and you'll have access to them post-conference on YouTube. When the recordings are ready, the links will be sent to you via email. So if you miss something or want to revisit a session, you can do so at your own pace. Due to the sessions being recorded, cameras and microphones have been disabled for the duration of the presentation. Let's create a respectful and inclusive space for everyone. I trust that each of you will contribute to maintaining a positive environment throughout the session. Be mindful of your language and interactions. Do not share any offensive or highly personal content, and do not photograph, screenshot, or take personal recordings. If you encounter any technical issues or need support during the conference, please don't hesitate to reach out to the IT service desk. At SNHU, an inclusive and accessible learning environment is our priority. Your experience is crucial, and if you require accommodations, please reach out to the respective centers. For online students, you can email oac@snhu.edu, or you can call them at 866-305-9430. For campus students, you can email cac@snhu.edu, or you can call them at 603-644-3118. For SNHU staff and faculty, please email hr@snhu.edu. With that, we've covered the essentials for a smooth and engaging conference experience. Now let's briefly learn a bit more about our presenter to get started. Peter Bartel is originally from Rochester, New York, and currently resides in Pensacola, Florida. Peter has 10+ years of career service experience. Through his time in career services, Peter has learned expertise in assisting job seekers to adapt effective job search and networking strategies that would pertain to the specific lines of work they're looking for. Peter enjoys woodworking, traveling, the beach, working out, and listening to podcasts. So without further ado, I will pass the virtual microphone over to Peter Bartel.
Thanks, Jill. Good to have everybody here for sure. So today's session is specifically how to use X, formerly known as Twitter, right? So we'll definitely dive into that, and not just using X, but using it to network. I should clearly state that. There will be a link shared in the comments here of the video or the chat if you're listening live. And it will go in more so into the detailed training of how to use Twitter as a social media platform. Specifically today, I just want to make sure we're clear that the focus of this is how to use it to network. So not how to use it necessarily like in general, like set up your profile, etc. Again, that'll be shared in a link that you can use, but this is more niche topic, right, within the platform, a nuance within it that I think will be really effective for you. That training is going to be provided as a link from LinkedIn Learning. So as an FYI for you all, you have access as a student or alum to LinkedIn Learning from SNHU. So you can Google any course at any time that you want to get more well-versed on and learn more about. But that's a side note. Back to the focus of the presentation here, importance of using X to network for social media. So we'll get into it here. You see some other social media icons on the screen, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, all forms of social media. And the reason I bring this up is because many folks use social media to network, right? And it can be used as a virtual networking tool to make this happen, regardless of the platform. You just can use each platform differently for different things. There's a stat there from datareportal.com, 4.95 billion social media users around the world. That's staggering, right? And that's all different platforms, right? It's not just X, it's not just Facebook, it's not just TikTok, it's all kind of combined. And to be fair, not all actively use it, right? And that's a point I'll make later. If you're on a platform, make sure you're actively using and representing yourself on that platform, especially if you're doing it for professional development purposes. You want to seem current, whether it's LinkedIn, X, Facebook, etc. If it's with friends, family, that's a bit different, right? But if you're trying to kind of grow a brand, cultivate it, it's important to maintain consistency on that platform. So all key points here, all platform key points, you can with social media direct message, engage, etc. So each platform calls it something different, right? Comment, share, retweet, like, whatever the verbiage is, right? With Twitter, it's like, retweet, and comment. So, and you want to be consistent each day on that platform. We talked about that for your brand, and to prevent burnout, I say 10 to 20 minutes a day. That's it. Don't kill yourself, right? Just 10 to 20 minutes a day. That way you're not gonna feel like, oh my gosh, I just spent an hour and a half on X yesterday or LinkedIn yesterday, and I don't want to do it all over again today. I don't feel like it. Always spend a little time so you get that consistency, but you always give yourself something to look forward to tomorrow, right? So that's how I use it, and how I recommend to use it. And I rarely experience burnout because of that. If anything, there's days I wish I could go on and I just can't because I have other things that take priority every once in a while. Remember the algorithm as well. Social media works off algorithms. So if you are present 10, 20 minutes a day, then you're going to maintain a level of relevance on other people's feeds, regardless of the platform. So here again, we're speaking primarily to X, but if you like 5 things, make a rule for yourself, right? We'll go with X, like 5 things, retweet 5 things, comment on 2. You're good. And you'll maintain that level of presence on other people's accounts and connect with like-minded folks as well, right? You want to make sure that you're doing that because, again, it's your brand. If you're building it for professional purposes, this will help to automatically filter to the content that you want to see. So using it to network as well, this is what we'll really dive into now. And while most know X for news, right, or again, formerly Twitter, now it's X. But while most know it for news, it actually has a very large professional presence per industry as well. So whether it's writing, healthcare, STEM, marketing, social media itself, as a field, business, sales, you name it, they have it. Sports management. There's industry professionals in each niche on X. So that's important to note when you're trying to use it to network, not just for, and you can find out, okay, there's a big concert coming up, who's going to be playing at it, right? Like that stuff is obviously on there as well. Any current news events that happen in pop culture, etc., are on there as well. But you can utilize it, and you'll notice the phone app here. It's also really functional and through a desktop or laptop computer. So don't lose sight of that and just think that you have to use X on your phone. It's definitely a phone-friendly app as well and convenient, right? When you're on the go or out and about and just want to hop on it. But if you're stationary at a desktop or can be or at a laptop, I recommend it. There's a lot of good stuff that you can do with that functionality, or the same kind of stuff, right? Just makes it a little easier to navigate and type things out, etc. So it allows you to search for hashtags pertaining to industries. We've all heard, most of us have probably heard the term hashtag, right? Which hashtag, if it's just a quick overview, is really just like a filter, right? You put it on something. If you say hashtag human resources, for example, okay, well, people use that hashtag and now only posts that come up using the hashtag human resources, all one word, are going to show up, right? And you can filter too. It's kind of neat. Well, we'll go into it, but like the latest, the top engagements with that hashtag, etc. You can also on X create lists and tailor your content to your liking. So instead of seeing, let's say you're following 200 people and they're from slightly different niches or they're all from the same niche, but you want just marketing professionals, not sales folks. We'll go with more of the business niche, right? Well, you can make lists to separate. Okay, you say I'm following all 2000, but I got 500 sales folks and I got 880 marketing. So I want these two bucketed, right? So to speak, is another term instead of lists. So that way, if you have a list of 880 marketing folks, you can go to that list and now it filters out for you all those sales folks. So you're just seeing heavier marketing content on your feed. Of course, you can search your individual list as well. Go to anybody's Twitter account page to see anything that they've posted, like, shared, commented, retweeted. So just so you had an understanding of that as well. Now, networking at conferences is really what I want to dive into here as far as how to most effectively use Twitter to network. There are some ongoing hashtags that you'll see per industry. Human resources would obviously be one, right? Specifically for human resources, just because I know that field a little bit more. HR community, hashtag HR community is one that's common in that field that's used on the daily. So you can refer to that if you are on Twitter long enough and grow your following long enough. You'll see the more trendy hashtags within your industry. Some of them probably pretty obvious, right? Like healthcare would probably be hashtag healthcare, hashtag HIM, hashtag coding, hashtag medical scribe, right? Whatever. IT, same thing, hashtag STEM, hashtag cybersecurity, hashtag software engineering, right? So those are some standing ones. But within conferences, you get some really good stuff. So if you have been to a conference, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm going to put you in it, right? If you're attending a conference and you're in an opening session, you sit there and you listen to the open, somebody welcoming you to the conference, most likely who works for that organization with that conference. And they always, always, always open the conference with, here's our hashtag for the conference. They share all their social media accounts, but primarily their focus is on, here's our hashtag for the conference. If you take any pictures, hear any quotes, anything, feel free to use our hashtag and post it on social media. They do not limit it to X. I want to make mention of that. They just say social media in general, but it's pretty known that at conferences, one of the main platforms that's used is Twitter, or X, formerly Twitter. At these conferences, I've actually been, it was healthcare related seminar in DC before conference, and they actually had a board ongoing. This was like 5 years ago. They shared their hashtag and they had a list of who was the most engaged with the hashtag that was at the conference on a TV screen live simultaneously as the conference was going on, which was pretty crazy. I don't even know how they did it, but they did it because I tested it. I made it up to like 6 at one point or whatever, so I called it a day. But anyways, it was pretty interesting. So here's some hashtags general. We just mentioned a couple of them, right? So human resources and not hashtags, sorry, conferences that you can attend. So SHRM and SHRM Talent for Human Resources. SHRM stands for Society of Human Resource Managers. So this is the bee's knees of every single niche conference, right? That I've found through my research over the years, just being in the career services field. I've been in recruiting for a bit as well. So social media and marketing. There's a huge conference called Social Media Marketing World in San Diego every year. And we'll share the hashtag for these in a bit through the chat and on the screen here. But and then there's business, South by Southwest. They have a ton of things going on per niche with that conference. That's held in Austin, Texas every year. And then STEM, there's a ton of STEM. There's honestly really not a primary bee's knees, we'll call it, for STEM. But they happen a lot. And the reason I bring up social media networking, right? And you see these photos here, right? The top one on the left is people on ground at site at the conference. And the misconception is, well, shoot, I'm not going to the conference. I can't network with other people like-minded at the conference. No, you can't, but you can still network with them. Bottom left, right? This person is just a figure, right? Sitting there at the desktop, could be on the phone, and they're connecting with a bunch of people. And this is what you can do with a hashtag if you're following a conference when it's ongoing. But you want to make sure when that conference is happening, you research it ahead of time, you know the dates it's happening, and you're on it, you're live. This is where you're going to spend more than 10 to 20 minutes a day for those 2 or 3 days that conference is going on. You're going to spend 2 to 3 hours at least, like you want to. Because you have to capitalize on that, right? The hashtags are coming out live as people are there, they're engaging and they're posting. You don't have to be there to engage, right? The budget is a budget, right? It doesn't allot for you, especially if your employer doesn't pay for it, to take this trip with no expenses paid to network with, let's just say, social media professionals. Like, yeah, we get it, right? That would be like super beneficial. But at the same time, it is what it is, right? It's not going to be feasible every time, all the time. So you can still attend, so to speak, or engage or network with the conference in a virtual setting, and hashtags are absolutely how. Here's the hashtags for some of them. And I'm going to share my screen here in a minute, and we'll go through how to do that. Just looking for the stop sharing feature, so that I found it. So there will not be a delay. But hashtags, SHRM Talent, SHRM 23, which is past, SXSW, and then Social Media Marketing World 23, right there. Hashtag is past. And again, I'm just calling out a few specific industries, but Google your industry of interest. Writing specifically, now that I'm talking about it, I'm thinking they definitely have a few very strong communities and hashtags on Twitter and conferences as well. So some good stuff. So we'll explore that. Before we do, I'm going to let you know about SNHU Connect, and you can connect with just another form of networking, not related to this presentation, but other members of the SNHU community, etc. And if you have any questions about SNHU Connect, you can connect at snhu.edu is the email. But this is a great way to see upcoming events, connect with others in the SNHU community, kind of chat live, etc. And it's a growing audience on there. So be sure to check that out. And this will be put as well in the chat, but some contact information for you. Online students, COCE career at snhu.edu. Campus students, career development at snhu.edu. SNHU staff, internal career coaching at snhu.edu. And then a link to our handshake on there. Our social media platforms, SNHU Connect, everything is on there. Okay, cool. So we'll get back to the hashtags now. I'm going to flip back to the slide real quick just to get our minds back on it, and then stop sharing my screen. And now we will we'll go through Twitter here. I gotta share my screen again to do this. So Jill, just give me an audible yes, see my screen. All right, awesome.
Yep.
So thank you. So this is the SNHU Career Twitter, right, homepage. And from here, and again, you'll want to go to the link that will be shared in this presentation, like the YouTube. It'll be in the comments, the LinkedIn Learning. But if you want to on your own, you can always just go to LinkedIn Learning. And that's what I did to find the training for you all, additional on like the basics of how to use Twitter. And you can really get well versed in how to use it. But again, just the nuance here with searching the hashtags to network within Twitter. And remember, we just shared those handles, right? Like, so we'll go with just SHRM Talent, for example, since that was the first one. So again, SHRM is Society of Human Resource Managers. This conference is specific to recruiters and talent acquisition folks that work for organizations. So it filters, it's a smaller conference. The actual SHRM conference that happens every year, it's so large they have to switch it between just a few convention centers throughout the country that can hold that many people. I'm talking like 18 to 20,000 folks they usually have. SHRM Talent is about 1,500. That's okay though, right? This is great, especially if you're looking for work, because this is all recruiters, all talent acquisition folks. It filters out that other 15,000-ish, which is the benefits folks, the generalists, the VPs, right? That may still be important, yes, but this is a niche conference. So whether you are looking for work to connect with recruiters specifically, or you're looking, maybe you are in the HR field and you're looking to get more knowledge yourself, right? And just to network, this one we'll explore. So we typed in the hashtag, press enter, and what it'll do is it'll bring up the top at first. That's what it auto filters to. You can also press latest, and it now brings up the latest. So January 23rd was like yesterday, the latest tweet. What you want to do is find the dates of when the conference happened. And I know off the top of my head, this one actually happened in April of 2023. So as we scroll down here, we start to see a lot of tweets. Like, see, we're still on April 19th. This is when the conference was actually ongoing. So again, that's why I said book your calendars and make sure that you're available and present on, April, I think it was April 17th through 19th or something. So you can attend and see this conference live and people posted photos and everything. You see this person, Suzette Rivera, said lots of great information and ideas are flowing at SHRM Talent. So looks like Suzette was actually there, right? That's okay. You don't have to be there to engage with Suzette, right? We're doing it now. And put the hashtag in, and now we just engage with Suzette, right? So this is a great way to do it. And you can see, you all you have to do is scroll your cursor over Suzette's name, and you can see a basic version of her profile, her title, everything. And we go to it full bore, and she is indeed a recruiter for the school district of Lee County in Fort Myers, Florida. So just one example. And again, yeah, there's nothing better than being present at the conference, right? Like, number one, how neat does that look? And then number two, wow, look at all the people behind her. For some reason, there it is. Look at all those people. I mean, that's a bunch of networkers, right? And notice here too on the screen, this is actually a great pic. I just randomly looked at this one, but you see all their social media icons on the screen. That's exactly what I'm talking about. They promote and they say use the hashtag, and it's front and center at not just this conference, every single conference, and hence the engagement you can see here too, right? So scroll up. I think there was a video on here I saw briefly. Yeah, so this, I don't have sound, so you guys can't hear, but this is a session at the conference in a room for a topic. So again, great opportunities to network, whether you're there or not. It doesn't cost you a penny beyond what you pay monthly for your cell phone bill or your internet if you're on a desktop, right? To sit there and engage with the same people that, maybe at the conference. And since this one has a lot of likes, we'll actually go into this one. And all we have to do is click the three dots, view engagements, and then we click likes, and we get a full list of people that like this tweet. So maybe you, in theory, Suzette's going to be connected with some like-minded folks, right? For her in the HR field. So you can scroll over, people's profiles. You can see a little bit of them here too. This one actually, Steve, kind of cool story. I was at a conference myself. It was SHRM Talent, probably 5 years ago, and I tweeted, and And then all of a sudden I see, I hear this guy saying, Peter, follow me back, man. And I look and it's this guy. It's Steve. He's a row in front of me because I tweeted out a picture, right, of where my seat was. So he saw literally where I was in that same space. And we talked, we met and stuff. And he's actually the HR director for a large pizza chain in Ohio, but pretty cool, right? Just an example of the power of just virtual networking, whether I was there or not, had the opportunity. So here's just one more we'll look at with this conference. Jennifer Henley, HR consultant. So you can go on and on and on, right? We'll do social media marketing world 23 now. And again, so this is past, right? Like these are not ongoing, but we were still able to go back and look at the stuff, right? Even though this is not a live ongoing conference. However, the benefit of catching it live in the moment ongoing is people are actively going to be on Twitter, right? Maybe this person hasn't come back to their Twitter for a couple days since X amount of time. Now you're seeing this now, right? But to catch them during a conference is amazing. And chances that they're actually going to connect with you are a lot higher. So this is social media marketing world. I don't know what this graphic is. I'm just kind of clicking it. Yeah. So this is actually exactly what I was talking about, right? People at the conference tweeting about the conference while the conference is going on. And it kind of gives you a leaderboard, and this is for them to entice engagement. Some of these conferences actually give out door prizes for this, which is just absolutely wild, right? This one makes a little more sense because this conference is specific to social media marketing, right? But anyways, we'll scroll down and we see some more here. I don't know honestly what dates this one happened in 2023. I think usually they're in the spring. So I see a lot in April, and it's taking us more time just to filter down the dates. So I would assume maybe April, May. So you get the point, right? You can do it ongoing. This person, Andrea Theojohn, 9,000 followers, following 8,000, helping brands market, etc. So great professional development, great to meet people. You can quickly go over these and like them too. It takes no time. And then we just like Shayna, she's going to get a notification here. The other one we'll scroll up to is top. This is the top engaged folks, right? Remember we saw the one in SHRM Talent where she had 20 likes. So we went through her kind of roster, so to speak, of folks that like that. This is a great way to filter to maybe get the most folks that retweet it or liked, etc. So Anne had a really popular one. So first off, we can scroll over Anne herself, see what she does if we want to. View engagements. We can view the reposts, or they used to call it retweets. I'm sorry. I guess they call it reposts now. It's kind of a branding thing X is doing. So yeah, like-minded folks, right? Nicole Smith, Sharon McLean, and these are all like, you could tell these are professional profiles. Again, back to that point, right? They're not like playful, oh, I'm watching the football game, who's winning kind of thing. Yeah, that market is huge on Twitter or on X, but you also have a professional brand that you can see that people put forward. And if people provide their names, which a lot of them you can see do, cross-reference them on LinkedIn, add them on LinkedIn as well. In the creative space, especially, you may find some on it that share their Instagrams, that share their TikToks. Probably not so much on a format like healthcare, right? Or something like that, but depending on your audience, absolutely. So you get some likes here and different people. So again, on and on and on and on and on and on. SHRM will be another one. I'm not going to search it, but just to show you that the hashtag is searchable. We typed in SHRM and it comes up here. So the general SHRM conference, which would be great if you are looking for maybe a payroll position or a benefits position, not something streamlined recruiting. So that's kind of the ins and outs of Twitter. It's hidden, right? You wouldn't think of it like, oh my gosh. And the reason I want to bring this up is really twofold: A, to network, but B, to make you understand, yes, there's conferences out there. yes, oftentimes you can get a student discount at these conferences, but even then, I do understand and acknowledge it usually costs a flight and a hotel and a lot of money for food just to get there, right? And a few rideshare drives, and that adds up. And to be practical, unless it's in your city, it's not often attainable. So this is a great way to network virtually just with a hashtag. And again, make sure that you date that in your phone and you concretely are available during that time, because you want to be able to maximize those 2 or 3 days where people are like yourself and they're live on Twitter, or whatever platform. This stuff does exist on other platforms as well, just in more of a moderation, not as high volume, where you can network with them. So that was all I had for the session, but Jill, I'll let you take it back from here and I'll stop sharing.
Peter, thank you so much. I loved that. I especially loved the little live preview that we got of X. I think that was awesome.
No problem.
Great. So please click on the Career Day link in the chat to explore the rest of the sessions being offered today. And don't forget to fill out the survey that we will email you after the event, just to let us know how we did. As a reminder, these sessions are recorded and will be available on the SNHU Career Services YouTube channel in 2 to 3 business days. If you have additional questions not addressed here, please reach out to SNHU Career Services. We are more than happy to help. And lastly, please check out Handshake to find more SNHU career events in the future. The link to Handshake will be included in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Peter. And I hope everybody has a great day.
Thank you, Jill. See ya.
Bye.